Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Chris, and we are at the Lakeshore Food Club. A great experience here because I want to know more about the club. Onelia is here. Onelia, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We're going to tour the club today, and I'm hoping by the end of this segment with Talk of the Town that you can tell us all about how we can help as a community for the club, but also so that citizens that are maybe haven't visited here before, are in need, that they can really take advantage of the club.
Absolutely.
I always ask this question when you and I interact is, what kind of need is there out there? Where are we at on that?
So since you and I last talked, which has probably been a couple months, Chris, I cannot put into words the amount of need that is out in our community. Every day I'm brokenhearted by the amount of need that we see and the stories that we hear. Some of our viewers may not know, or you probably saw on national news, that SNAP benefits went from emergency dollars back to pre-COVID amount. And what happened with that is we are not back to pre-COVID days. Inflation. If you've been to a grocery store recently, you're probably, like I am, still shocked at some of the prices that you're paying. Yeah. And we're making choices in the grocery store of, I'm not paying that kind of money for a soda, or I guess I'm in Michigan, so pop. Yeah, absolutely. But, we're making those tough decisions. And so imagine if you are in that 200% of the poverty guidelines, which is a qualifier for membership at the food club. Okay. Imagine those decisions. You're going to feel it even more. Okay. And so our families are feeling that pressure. Their assistance went back to these dollar amounts, but they did not take into consideration, they meaning the government, did not take into consideration the inflation that we're feeling. Yeah. And we have no control over that.
And you're seeing that from the ground level here.
Absolutely. So we are seeing just, here we are in April, we've already seen a 48% increase in our membership. Okay. Wow. And, as I tell you all the time, someday I'm going to stop giving numbers because you're not going to believe them, but we've just been on this steady incline for about the last 24 months. Okay. And just in March, we had 50 new memberships, people who've never been here before.
And what when they're coming through the door, and we're going to show the food club a little bit on camera here, but when they're coming through the door, and what is sort of that story like? We don't want to give any specific stories away, but what are those conversations like? So
the register right here, my office is right behind the register, and I can't tell you how many times we just hear tears of joy and tears of gratitude, and they're real and they're heartfelt, and our volunteers who are working the cash register they get hugs at the end of the transaction because moms and dads and grandparents and our neighbors who are living, in RVs and cars are just amazed at, first of all, by how they're welcomed when they walk in the door, the dignity that we are met with. Because as you're walking through, you're probably thinking, this looks like a small town grocery store.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what this is. We are not a food pantry. We are a nonprofit grocery store. And so you're going to find items in here that you're going to find in a grocery store. I'm very proud to say you will not find expired food here. Good. Now you will find food that has a very short shelf life, like our bakery goods. That's coming through the food rescue program, which is keeping food out of the dumpsters because we want to reduce food costs in our community. But if you look at our canned goods, if you look at our refrigerated and freezer items, things are what you're going to find in a grocery store. Okay.
And we see like the vegetables over here. Yes. Is that donated by farmers? Is it, how do we get those?
So soon it will be. Okay. We live in Michigan, so our growing season is a little shorter than say a Florida or California. But soon, this will be filled with local produce. I mean, we will be the hottest spot in town for local produce because we have many local gardeners, local farmers that make sure we have what we need, both in donations but also from a wholesale perspective. Right now, we're sourcing our vegetables through larger distributors who are getting it from all over the country. This has not been stocked fully yet, so usually this is absolutely filled with fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. And the other thing that we do here is you and I both have been on a health journey. We've shared together, and it's expensive to buy healthy food. Yes. I mean, we kind of walk in and we go, oh my gosh, we want to eat organic, we want to eat clean. cha-ching, cha-ching.
Absolutely.
And here you don't experience that. The healthiest the food it is, the less points it is. People shop with points that they receive based on
Correct.
their household size. And so this fruits and vegetables, where you and I are gonna pay more money, some of this is actually organic vegetables, you're only going to pay a point for 2 pounds of vegetables. So your points go longer.
Okay.
So we're doing our part to, number one, increase healthier food choices, where there isn't that pressure of, I want to eat healthy, I want my kids to eat healthy, but I can't afford it.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is we are partnering with Spectrum, it's no longer Spectrum, Corewell. We're partnering with Corewell, we're partnering with the local doctor's offices because we feel a personal responsibility to help combat chronic disease in this community.
Okay, I love that effort.
Yeah.
When we look at the shelves, sometimes we see some of the bare areas. Is
Yes.
that where we're not getting enough donations? Where are we at on that?
So where we're at on that is our food system in America is broken, and that's no secret. We have struggled to source food. We have had to also increase our purchasing. We are very fortunate to participate in through Feeding America's food rescue program, and that is saving food from going to the landfill.
Absolutely.
And so that has changed. That is actually decreased by over 60%, and actually our produce has decreased by 90%.
Wow.
Because stores are feeling the pressure of inflation also, and they're getting creative on how to keep product in their store longer, or the larger corporations are decreasing their inventory. So what used to fit, in fact, this just happened this morning. One of our volunteers does a Tuesday run to one of the local retailers, and he used to fill the back of his pickup truck with food rescue product. We had one small box about this big.
Wow.
Yes, that's the reality of what we're faced with, and that just happened in the last few months, which took our food budget. We are up about 78% because we're having to make up that difference because we have the increase in membership, the decrease in food available to us, and we're having to make up that difference. So we're reaching out to the community and asking for their help.
And that was my next question. As we make our way, I'd like to go, you have a back stock here, or a back room.
Yes.
Let's see what happens back there here at the food club. But as we're making our way back there, take us through, go ahead, take us through what can we do as a community? You mentioned obviously the prices are changing here. What is that difference? After you. And okay, there we go.
So this is our back room. This is where everything comes in.
Okay.
So our trucks show up. Our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday typically are really busy days back here because that's when a lot of our orders come in. A lot of our larger food rescue programs come in the door. You will see that it is stocked like a warehouse would be.
Yeah.
It's organized, it's clean. Our volunteers, we're a small staff. We're a staff of 3.5 right now. And so our volunteers make up all of the difference in this place. So we have approximately 65 consistent volunteers throughout the month. Some of our volunteers volunteer every day of the week. And so they're stocking our shelves. They are moving the product. We are rotating the product. Again, back to that, we don't have expired food on our shelves. And so that happens back here.
And we see the volunteers in action there, that they're working and stocking. And that's huge. That's important.
Huge. It is absolutely huge. So how the community can help us is we live in Ludington, and we are about to go into our paradise time period where we love Ludington, and it's beautiful, and people want to be on their boats. And so if you have a few hours, our shifts are just 2 hours long.
Okay.
We have local corporations, Aaron Doan, I know, mutual friend of ours. Aaron Doan is here at least once a month for a couple hours.
Okay.
And, we have other corporate groups that come in, and we'll just come in once a month for a couple hours, get to know our members, get to know us, and have a lot of fun.
What about, as we make our way to the front, what about the financial donations that could help? What does that look like right now, and what can we do better as a community?
So financial donations is always needed. It takes a lot of money to run this place. You know, we've talked several times today about the inflation that we're experiencing, and we saw that on the wholesale side of things as well, not just on the retail side. So I always say cash is king, because I can make your dollar stretch further than you can, because you would be buying retail for me, and we have a whole host of wholesalers that we work through.
Absolutely. Okay.
So if youth groups or a group wanted to get together and do a food drive for us, Covenant Christian does a cereal drive a couple times a year and brings in like 1,000 boxes of cereal.
Oh, wow.
So things like that are always welcome. We would love to have food drives happen, and then of course the financial gifts are always needed.
Is it difficult when people are donating food for you to get the right food?
Yes and no. One of the biggest things is if you're donating food, whether it's to the food club or a food pantry in your community, make sure that it's food that your family would eat. Okay. Don't donate expired food and used items, and because that takes time and energy to sort through it. Okay. Half-used bottles of shampoo. Keep things like that for other donations. Absolutely. But food that is in season or within dates, absolutely. Okay. We have, and the other thing that I want to stress is all of the snack food back there is donated. We don't spend our money on junk food. Okay, good to know. We want to have the freshest, most wholesome food that we can have. And so the healthier food, the better. Okay. But if your kids love Pop-Tarts and you want to donate Pop-Tarts, we will take Pop-Tarts.
Now, cash register, you have a cash register area, and so we want to talk about how that process works in regards to points. Yep. People can purchase a membership for their family. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Take us through that.
Sure. So there is a very nominal program fee that is attached to our program. A single person, it's a $10 a month program fee, and it goes up to a large family would be $16 a month. So $10 to $16. Okay. We never want finances to be a burden and a barrier. We have some partnerships with some area agencies, with some case management, where there's gift certificates available through other agencies. But for the most part, our members come in, they have a membership card. I don't know if I see one right now. They have a membership card just like we do at Sam's or Costco. Okay. They come in, we scan their card, and that will tell them how many points they have left in the month to shop with. The points are good for 30 days. Okay. It's not just a calendar month, but it's actually 30 days. And so, for example, a single person receives 60 points a month. And so if you're doing 2 pounds of produce for a point, you can really make your points stretch.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. A larger family is going to receive 120 to 150 points, depending on the size of the family. Okay. And so then you get a grocery cart, just like we do at our local grocery store, and you walk the aisles. And the other thing I'm most proud about is we have worked really, really hard. This is 100% choice. Okay. Nobody's standing at the end of the aisle saying you have to take lima beans, or I'm sorry, you took too many green beans.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yes, this is a complete choice. We want our households in this community to be treated with respect and dignity, and that's a key to the choice model that we work here. And then you also, as we walk by, you probably saw we have home and hygiene items too. Absolutely. And sometimes that can be budget restrictive. Okay. So then when all of the groceries are chosen, whether you're shopping for the entire month or you're shopping for a couple items, you just go to the cash register, and instead of dollars being exchanged, it's points. Okay, all right. Do you see that the word is getting out to those that need help? I hope so. Okay. I really hope so. I have been in some situations recently where I've had an opportunity to speak to a civic group, and people don't know we exist. And we just celebrated we've been here 5 years. Okay. And so to get the word out that we are needed, we are needed in the community, but then we are available. We're needed to the community, but we're also available to those families that they really don't know how they're going to make it through the end of the month. Okay. And it breaks my heart when I find out that somebody did not know this resource is here. This community, and you and I have talked about this ever since we met a couple years ago, this community is so generous. Absolutely. So generous. But is there enough
resources on a daily basis that you can handle everybody that's coming through the door?
So far, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
I am very thankful. We may not have an item that somebody might want. We may have to tell them that, sorry, the truck didn't come in. We have placed an order. There's been chances, in fact, this just happened a few weeks ago. We placed an order that should have been equivalent to about 8 pallets, and 3 came in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, we're still having some supply chain issues, but for the most part, nobody walks away empty-handed or frustrated.
Okay, good.
So that
Good.
is, and that is strictly this community loving us so much.
All right. Before we move into, we've got a workshop that's coming up.
Yes, yes.
My 2 questions for the individual or the group that wants to donate and support, what's that first step for them?
So donate and support. If you want to do a food drive or you want to do food donation, call us. We always know the top 10 items that we are looking for right now.
Okay.
And we can shoot you an email. One of our donors actually created a scavenger hunt that's really cool. You can, for a youth group or for a birthday party, we can send that out to them. For donations, monetary donations, you can give online. You can give through our website, which is easy to remember, lakeshorefoodclub.org.
Okay.
Or, of course, you can always mail a check in or drop a check off at the membership desk. Yes.
And for the recipients out there, the shoppers, those families that need help, what do?
They just show up.
Okay.
The other thing that, and this will make you cry, Chris, the other thing is we don't require any paperwork. People don't need to bring us anything. We are an organization that is completely self-verify.
Okay.
So we have a chart here that shows what 200% of the poverty guidelines are currently.
Okay.
And so, for example, a family of 4 is $60,000 a year currently. And so they just self-verify that they're within this category.
Okay.
And we have them fill out a simple intake form, and then they receive a membership, and they're
So in
part of the family.
In general, nobody's rejected.
Nobody is rejected.
Okay,
Nobody
wow.
is rejected,
Okay.
yes.
Let's talk about, as we get close to wrapping up, the workshop.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I lived in Indianapolis, I had an incredible opportunity to attend a poverty simulation. Have you ever attended one before?
I did not, no.
They're extremely powerful. And I later went on actually to become a facilitator of a poverty simulation out of Missouri. And so as it's something I've wanted to bring to Mason County ever since I stepped foot, 3 years ago. But of course, COVID prevented us from doing so. So there's a group out of Grand Rapids called Access West Michigan, and it's become a very dear partner, friend relationship with them, with the food club, and they actually teach the poverty simulation. And so they're coming on May 4th from 9 o'clock in the morning till noon.
Okay.
And, when you work in this industry, you have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of training. I will say it's the top 2 that I have ever done in my life. It changed my life, and it helps me make wise decisions every day.
Okay.
And I want to share that with everybody in this community. From church leaders, community leaders, government officials, anybody who is working with people, anybody that's working with people. This is a training that it makes us uncomfortable. It really does. I'll be honest. This is not a Hollywood production, and it is not a day at Disney World. I mean, you are going to walk away, and it's going to mess with you a little bit because you are going to have the ability to see your neighbor differently. There's a phrase, I didn't make it up, but there's a phrase that it's very expensive and it's very exhausting to live in poverty. And you will see firsthand just how true that statement is and what our neighbors are experiencing as they're trying to juggle everything. And so I invite anybody who wants to. You can do that online as well.
Right
you can
at the website?
At the website, shoot us an email, give us a call, and we can register you.
Okay, great. Is there a cost to it, do you know?
So to offset the cost, for non-food club volunteers, we're just asking, it is not required, but just asking for a $10 donation to help us offset.
Right. And that's on the May 4th?
Yes.
9 to noon?
9 to noon.
9 to
yes,
noon.
right here at the Lakeshore Resource Network.
Okay.
So it's right across the parking lot from me.
Right. Sounds great.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, what message would you say to those that are in need and those that can help? What would you say to them?
To those that are in need, if you are struggling to go to the grocery store each month, and each month it hurts a little bit more. These doors are open. We are open Monday through Friday, 11 to 5, and we are open on Saturday from 10 to noon. And I want everybody to know that you will be met with love and respect, and we can't wait to meet you. This community has made this happen, and it is for you. I don't want anybody to ever feel shameful for walking through our doors. I want people to feel like this is their food club.
Okay.
For our donors, now you're gonna make me emotional. I cannot thank this community enough for believing in our work, and we are a community that truly takes care of our own. And so our donors have never not stepped up and said, not in our town.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this community. So we're in need once again. Things are the most expensive they've ever been for us, and we have as more people than we've ever served. So we are asking the community to help us get there, help us keep these shelves stocked. And everybody is one crisis away from financial ruin. That's the average in America. And so we want to keep our doors I said that wrong, but we don't want to get to that point you asked me of, can you handle all of the people? Yes, I want to continue to handle the people, be able to serve everybody in our community, live, work, or have somebody in their household that attends school in Mason County is welcome in this place.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
appreciate
Chris.
it. And
It's
I know
always great to spend time with you.
And you're going to be opening the doors in a minute, so
Yes.
we're going to wrap up here. And thanks for taking some time with us.
Thank
got
you
it.
so much.
Absolutely. We're at the Lakeshore Food Club. They're going to be opening their doors in just a moment. But as we wrap up events that are happening in the area this weekend, Friday, April 28th, that's tomorrow, preschool story time at the Scottville Library. That's at 10 o'clock. Make sure you check out the library's website for that information. Also, coming up on Friday, we've got the Gabriel James playing at the Ludington Bay Brewing Company. He pulls from several genres, including classic and folk music, country and bluegrass. He's going to be playing at the Ludington Bay Brewing Company. Coming up this Saturday, April 29th, Blast into the Summer Party at the Mitten Bar from 5 to 10 p.m. Blast into Summer is a benefit for the Alzheimer's Association. The Mitten will have live entertainment, 50/50 raffles, and a live auction. And also on Saturday, West Shore Ice Arena is opening. I know a lot of people want to get it out and do some skating. That's from 1 until 2:50. And finally, coming up this weekend on Sunday, oil painting at Ludington Area Center for the Arts at 1 o'clock. The cost of the workshop, $35 per session for LACA members, $45 for non-members. Check out their website for more information. And speaking of the websites, make sure you head over to the Lakeshore Food Club website for more information. And if you want to take part in any of the events that we talked about today or upcoming events, check out downtownludington.org. I'm Chris with Talk of the Town, and we'll see you next week.